Guys, Nigeria has discovered lithium, and now Elon Musk and Tesla want a piece of the pie. In this video, I'm going to explain why this may be the opportunity Nigeria needs to repair its severely damaged economy and leverage against Western corporations. Pay attention. Lithium is a mineral used for batteries. As you know, electric cars have become increasingly popular and they run on batteries made with lithium as one of the key components. It is thought that while lithium now accounts for about 30% of the batteries made, in a decade or so, it will account for 95%. That means the value is going to rise, and any country that can get in on the game now is going to win and win big. The price of lithium went from $6,000 per ton in 2020 to $78,000 per ton in 2022. And they're saying by 2040, it may be the most valuable mineral on Earth. So you can see why Nigeria finding this is kind of a big deal. For those not aware, Nigeria to date has discovered over 44 minerals occurring in commercial quantities. Nigeria should be winning. There is hardly a mineral of value that cannot be found in Nigeria. Tesla have asked to mine the lithium, but Nigeria's Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamilekan Adegbite, has said no, and that the only way they will do a deal is if Tesla and other corporations build their plants in Nigeria. Now, this is a smart move, so just listen to this so you understand why this is a big move. This will create jobs and opportunities for Nigerians and give a greater boost to the economy rather than just selling the mineral overseas. As you remember, Ghana and Ivory Coast are engaged in a cocoa war.
Yeah, that's been happening. It's been quite an interesting war, but I must say that I love the steps Ghana have been taking during the war. We're going to talk about that as well in this video, but first let us talk about lithium.
So Nigeria now waging a war for lithium is a very, very good sign for the African continent because it means people are waking up over there. However, this isn't all good news. Mining lithium is a very damaging process to the environment, and we all know the issues Nigeria has had with oil pollution. Do we really want to introduce another set of environmental issues with pollution to the country? But the truth is though, do we have a choice if we want to be competitive? In my view, I don't think so. I think that, look, if you want to be in the game, you've got to be in the game. Nigeria is now trying to make a deal with Australia, who is one of the third biggest suppliers of lithium, alongside Chile and China. I have to be honest, this is exciting news for Nigeria. As long as they don't mess this up and use this as a platform to build for the future, so that our children have something meaningful to bargain with at the global table.
So this is good news. So far, so good. It seems like we are going to be making a very good decision as to how we want things to be run in regards to this new mineral that has been discovered in Nigeria. You know, yesterday I told someone in the comment section of the video I posted that whenever I hear that there is a new mineral that has been discovered on the continent, I am usually not ecstatic about it. As a matter of fact, I get very worried because I know that they will be coming, and you know, when they do, we as the people never really benefit from these things, right? You know, the puppets and sellouts we have for leaders, they get their little coins while every other person except us actually enjoy from these things. So when I hear that there is a new discovery, I personally as an African do not get excited because I'm like, would I benefit from this anyways? Like, what's there to be happy about? Are my people going to reap the benefits that comes with this existing in our soil? If they won't, why should I be excited? You know, it's crazy that we live on the richest continent. We have everything that we could possibly need and more, and it's not reflective like that on the people. It's just it's sad, it's painful, it's quite unfortunate because not only do the everyday Nigerian, everyday African have these resources and they cannot reap their benefits, sometimes they even turn out to be harmful to us. Like he mentioned in his video, we have the oil spillage issue in Niger Delta. It is a very serious issue. People are getting sick. There is pollution issue, but these people do not care. They just come for the resources. They take it to their countries, enrich themselves, enrich their nation, while we are left in this shithole, right? But this time it's looking like things are going to be different with this new mineral that has been discovered. I just hope that just as our leaders have said so far, they continue to put their foot on the ground and actually be for their people and their country for a change.
Zimbabwe and Nigeria have locked horns with Tesla and other EV manufacturers, saying that they no longer want to export lithium for them to produce their batteries with. Instead, they want the batteries to be produced domestically in Africa. let me talk about what's happening, why it's happening, and what opportunities exist for you as an investor going forward. First, the backstory. Lithium use in the world has exploded over the past 10 years, with the amount produced annually increasing from 25,000 tons to over 85,000 tons. And 4 countries have produced most of this lithium. That's Australia, Chile, Argentina, and China. However, they don't have enough production to meet the growing demand in the world. So a lot of the EV manufacturers are trying to get this raw resource from Africa. And they were expecting Africa to just say, hey, take what you want, just cut us back in. They weren't expecting multiple African countries to tell them, no, you can't take our resources. You have to build your batteries domestically. So why are African leaders like President Mnangagwa making such a firm stance? It comes down to their goals with their economy. Many of these African countries don't want to simply be places to extract raw resources from. They want to be places where value is added. Now, if we're looking at lithium production, the total value chain has 6 distinct parts with regards to EVs. You start with mining, then you go to refining of the resources, cathode production, cell production, module assembly, and eventually making your own OEM cars. And Africa wants to have as much of that done domestically because each phase of that has support industries and creates jobs for everybody and creates more wealth, more velocity of money, etc. That's the real game plan. Instead of just getting a quick buck, they want to create something that creates wealth more sustainably. Now, in reality, we don't know how much lithium Zimbabwe, Nigeria, or the Central African countries actually have because the terrain hasn't been scouted out because the demand is relatively new. But I love the change in mindset where the African countries are looking to create industries where value is added domestically. Now, what does that mean for you as an investor? I think it means that you should be very bullish on these African economies because as they start to do more and more manufacturing, more value added, you're going to see an emerging middle class throughout the entire continent. And the African countries aren't going to have to do this alone. Countries like Turkey and Saudi Arabia have engineers throughout the continent that are going to expedite the learning curve for the manufacturing industries that are growing in these new economies. And to me, this is reminiscent of what happened in China in the 1980s. When I was growing up, China was thought of as a poor, underdeveloped country. Yet, by maintaining manufacturing and value added within their borders, China quickly grew within 3 decades from a poor, kind of third world country to a manufacturing superhouse with the biggest economy in the entire world.
The future is Africa for sure. We have the most number of young people. We have all the resources we could possibly need and more. We have everything right. All that is left for us to now build ourselves is for us to finally start making the right decisions. And hopefully we have started doing that. Our eyes have started to open. We are becoming more wiser and we know better now, hopefully. So fingers crossed, things are going to be looking better now moving forward. So now very quickly, let's talk about the cocoa war.
Have you heard about the Ivory Coast Ghana cocoa dispute? Probably not. I'm going to tell you why this is the most important fight in African commerce history, and the reason why you're probably not hearing about this in the mainstream media. The world calls Africa third world, poor and underdeveloped. But for centuries, Africa has been supplying the world with human and natural resources. Cocoa is the basic and most important raw material in making chocolates. Cocoa is $100 billion a year industry. Yes, billion with a B. Ghana and the Ivory Coast are the 2 biggest producers of cocoa in the world. Pay attention. The West then takes our resources and then makes products that they sell back to us at inflated prices with an exchange rate that is in their favor. How do we have fuel shortages in Nigeria when we are one of the main oil producers in the world? Now, in Lagos, when I was young, I could buy a crate of Sprite for 24 naira. Now, I couldn't buy 1 drop of Sprite for 24 naira. So study this image very carefully. Regardless of Ivory Coast and Ghana being the main cocoa producers in the world, they only get 6% of that 100 billion, with most of that money going to the multinational corporations and intermediaries and retailers. So Ghana and the Ivory Coast boycotted the cocoa meeting in Brussels, which is a major power move. On top of this, Ghanaian children are suing one of the top European chocolate companies for child labor and unsafe working conditions, as they are forced to do the work due to the extreme low wages paid to cocoa farmers while these companies make billions. Now, the Ghana president, Akufo-Addo, said that Ghana will no longer be selling cocoa to Switzerland and will start producing chocolate in Ghana. So Ghana are now competing with the big boys. And I'm going to post on my page 7 Ghanaian chocolate brands that you should be supporting, because this is how Africa will rise. But with every good thing, there are obstacles. Keep watching. You see, Cocoa Board, the Ghana Cocoa Authority, uses cocoa as collateral for cheap loans from the US. There's actually a Ghana free zone in Ghana that rewards cocoa producers who export at least 70% of their produce abroad. Yes, they are incentivized not to keep their cocoa in Ghana because Ghanaian cocoa is a major part of how they stabilize the exchange rate, a classic leverage tactic of the West on African natural resources. African poverty is not an accident, it's by design. If Ghana wins this fight, Africa wins. 7 Ghanaian chocolate brands that you should be supporting. Delaf Chocolates, Cabby Chocolates, Choco Love, 57 Chocolates, Biko Treats, Fair Afric, Adansi Bar Chocolates.
Major credit to this brother for this video. I absolutely love his content. You know, he comes with the information, with the news at all, and now with his help, this video has become a lot more informative, a lot more concrete and wholesome. But yeah, guys, these are some of the things that are presently going on the continent. You know, a lot is always going on here, but I just want to quickly bring this to your table. So yeah, let me know down below in the comment section what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.